asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'd. Let's thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Him we can attend in this happy place without any trouble, without any obstacle. Please say together, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. May salawat and salam always given to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who has guided us from stupid era to philosophy era. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Honorable, our teacher, our father and leader of the Luhur Baitul Hikmah Islamic Boarding School, Mr. Ahmad Dofil Zuhri, as an intellectual and as an spiritual guide. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. Honorable, our English teacher, Mr. Khalid, who has accompanied us and supported the English program. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Good evening, everybody. And good evening, everybody. A very warm greeting to each every one of us. Welcome to the Tuesday night Muhadharah in Baitul Hikmah Boarding School, the place where we are free to think, the place where we are free to express and explore everything. I'm Yusron Hafizullah, in charge and honor be here to be host for Tuesday night Muhadharah in Luhur Baitul Hikmah Boarding School. On behalf of the English Meeting Club, we extend our appreciation for you present tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's great opportunity for us all to interact and network with friends and colleagues across the culture. Okay, without further ado, let's start our program by welcoming Kailas Mountaineer, Kathmandu, Nepal, Mr. Aupa, and Bilal, Mr. Burham, from Republic Maldives. Please give applause for them. Maldives, yes. Time's yours.
Okay, he's from Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
Oh no, he's from Filsafat.
Ma'asyiral muslimin wa zumratal mu'minin rahimakumullah. Ruhiyan Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, idza qulta li sahibika yaumal jum'ah ansit wal imamu yakhtub faqad laghat ansitu wasma'u ati rahimakumullah ansitu wasma'u ati rahimakumullah ansitu wasma'u ati la'allakum turhamun. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa habibina wa syafiina wa maulana Muhammad wa sallim wa radiyallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala an sadatina ashabi rasulillahi ajma'in. Allahumma qawwil islam wal iman minal muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat wansurhum ala mu'aniddin. Rabbi ikhtim lana minka bi khair ya khairan nasirin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yaumiddin, amma ba'd. Qala Allah ta'ala, a'udzu أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. Dear Friday prayer congregation, may you always be under the protection of Allah's mercy and guidance. Let us never cease to offer praise and gratitude to Allah for the blessing of faith in Islam, immense gift that He has bestowed upon His servant. May we always be among those who receive His guidance and remain in faith and Islam until the end of our lives. We are also that He continues to grant us, allowing us the opportunity to worship Him, remember Him, and praise Him. All praise belongs only to Allah. Alhamdulillah. All praise is due to Allah. Indeed, it is not fitting for humans to seek praise, nor is it appropriate for us to feel that we have accomplished in anything on our own. For truly all praise belongs truly to Allah. On this occasion, I as the preacher would like to invite all of you to continually increase our faith and pity to Allah. Pity means always striving to be conscious of Allah in every situation by constantly remembering Him and carrying out His commands. Pity also means involving Allah in very challenge we face by praying, seeking His help, and supplicating to Him. This will bring about peace and tranquility in every aspect of our life. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. The meaning, O you who have believed, fear Allah as He shall be feared, and do not die except in state of submission to Him. Quran Surah Al-Imran verse 102. And of course, my blessing and praise always be bestowed upon Prophet Muhammad, be upon him, his family, and his companions. Dear Friday prayer congregation, may Allah have mercy on us all. In this brief Friday sermon, let us take a moment to reflect on what is happening around us, which has been ongoing for over a year. Many people have passed away, and not a few among them are our brother and sister. Suddenly, a friend of ours passes away. Death can come to anyone at any time and anywhere. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every living soul will taste death. That is something inevitable that we all must face. It is the gateway from this worldly life to the hereafter. Dear Muslim congregation, may Allah have mercy on us all. In Surah Al-Baqarah verse 28, Allah says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kaifa takfuruna billahi wa kuntum amwatan fa ahyakum summa yumitukum summa yuhyikum summa ilaihi turja'un. How can you disbelieve in Allah when you were dead? Then He gave you life, then He put you to death, then He brought you back to life, then to Him you will be returned. In the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, it is explained that this verse illustrates the immense power of Allah. It is truly strange for someone to disbelieve in Allah when humans intentionally did not exist. And then Allah brought them into existence on this earth. This verse also emphasizes that we will all inevitable die and will continually be resurrected after death. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bima fihi minal ayati wa dzikril hakim. Wa taqabbal minni wa minkum tilawatahu innahu huwas samiul alim. Aqulu qawli hadza astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa lisairil muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minin wal mu'minat fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. Alhamdulillahilladzi bi ni'matihi tatimmu shalihat wa bi dzikrihi tanazzalul khairat wal barakat wa bi tawfiqihi tahaqqaqul maqasid wal ghayat. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya ba'dahu. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi al-mujahidin at-tahirin. Amma ba'd. Faya ayyuhal hadirun usikum wa iyya bi taqwallahi wa ta'atihi la'allakum tuflihun. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wa tazawwadu fa inna khairaz zadi taqwa. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innallaha wa malaikatahu yusholluna 'alan nabi ya ayyuhalladzina amanu shallu 'alaihi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad kama shallaita ala sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali sayyidina Ibrahim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad kama barakta ala sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali sayyidina Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma fir lil muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minin wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibud da'awat. Allahumma fir lana dhunubana wa dhunuba walidayna warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara. Rabbana ighfir lana wa li ikhwanina alladhina sabaquna bil iman wa la taj'al fi qulubina ghillan lil ladzina amanu rabbana innaka ra'ufur rahim. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Ibadallah, innallaha ya'muru bil 'adli wal ihsan wa ita'i dzil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsya'i wal munkar wal baghi la'allakum tadhakkarun. Fadhkurullahal 'azim yadhkurkum was'aluhu min fadlihi yu'tikum wa la dzikrullahi akbar.
Please give applause for them. And give cigarette also. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on the next season. For having much more fun in our life, we all need to expect to how to enjoy to every moment. Luhurian English Club invite Mr. Blonde from Netherlands. Invite Mr. Blonde from Netherlands. Mr. Hasbi. Where Mr. Hasbi? I'm sorry. Anyone to change him? Please.
I will change him.
You, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Please give applause to Mr. Khalid.
Okay. Thank you for the master ceremony. He has been so encouraging. He expressed differently. He has been much more developed time by time. Evenly, I've seen it from the way he delivered make an order of an event. Thanks so much for your effort. On the behalf of one of the member who is absent for tonight, I will deliver a little bit a topic specifically. I could not say it is a speech, but it is an expression. Thanks before. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
many thanks, many gratitude must be praised and bring forward before the God. I mean the God, universally in meaning, not in the specific, and also the Prophet, which is the most honorable, the most enlightened humankind by his wisdom, by his attitude, and by his ethic and moral progress activities, has led us from the ignorance, from knowing nothing, from believing that we know nothing, into an era or dimension we exactly knowing and begin to, what is that, understand little by little. And it's also, he also pushes us to our limit beyond the specific, or let's say naturally made. We are man from the beginning, but we also Ubermans in terms of Nietzsche idea of his philosophy. The main idea I just want to express tonight is all about what we have been through yesterday. Is all about a meditative way how to understand ourselves in terms of understanding others. So a reflective moment that we kept in our. The word belief itself is questionable. We have to question everything, even with the word belief. What is belief? There are many concepts and idea of, let's say, from the perspective of word. Let's say this is, let's say, I forgot the term. Grammatical, in terms of language, which has been studied in a philosophic way, the term belief is not suitable to be used for us who are seeking the truth and the proof. So belief is a decay term when we cannot say a single thing and we are lack of, let's say, some notion supporting ideas or supporting proof or even the truth itself. We sometimes jump into a conclusion. We stay at the corner and we say, I believed, without having any capability. So it means we are not capable of providing proof, exploring things systematically based on data, based on knowledge, and based on the natural that must be easily understood by others. So what we are seeking right away is not about specifically but universally. This is the beginning of deepening movement. How to be wide is something beyond that, because going deep is something need to be doing in the other dimension. So the idea of expression tonight, what is belief itself in terms of the word, philosophically, because we want to dig a little about what is the root of its meaning. Belief. It also it promoted in another word. Belief, it could be specifically in part of speech. It is called a noun, but in some other part it is also called a verb. So belief as a noun is something different with the word belief in terms of verb. So when you say I believe that belief, it is two different things. I believe. The first word belief is predicative from the subject I. But when you say I believe on that belief is not a verb, it is a noun. So something beyond what is the predicative way. Predicative way cannot support the idea of that phenomena. Let's say the question then keep going into what is the second word belief, which poses as the noun. The noun is ontological question, by the way. So this is much more complicated. As Mr. David said, It is not my problem. You do understand or you don't. Pusing lah, pusing begitu. It is your job. It is your job to find the meaning. So back to the topic. Belief in terms of verb and belief in terms of noun specifically must be separated. So what comes first? Belief as a verb or belief as a noun? So you cannot say I believe without providing the belief itself. So the question kept going up to the end. What names by a belief that we can believe at? That is, what is that? Round and around question, roundabout question, circular question. We can never initiate which part as the first start and which part as the end of that circulation, because it's just a connected dot. Circle is a connected dot. So how do we clarify or classify which is the first and which is the end? Only by zooming it out we are able to see which is the first part and which is the ends part. So let me give you an example. When I asked Farid about this, Farid, do you believe in a certain belief? So how do you answer that in philosophical way? It is not an easy question. It is not only a simple grammatical question. So, sir, I believe a certain belief. I believe I, as a subject, believe is my predicative, is preceded by the subject I, but a certain belief is not predicative. It is a noun. It is something that you objected to. So it is called an object. Predicative and objects. This is term of a universal grammatical. In a traditional way, we tend to classify that sentence, I believe in a certain belief, in a traditional way of a grammar, which is so basic. And in the late of 17th century, it's been clearly criticized by French theologian group called Port Royal. They wrote the first history of grammatical subject which is connected to philosophy. It means they here is a member of the theologian from France called Port Royal in 1666. They began to analyze the word which is predicative and the word which is noun. In terms of philosophical viewpoint, it is different, much more different, or in vice versa. They use deeper instead of wider. So they neglect the way of perspective, which is before traditionally it is wider. So they classify, and this group called Port Royal were the first group in the world which is philosophically promote the idea of phrase in a sentence. So the word phrase, it has been promoted firstly by this group named Port Royal in 1666 in French. So we know already now the word phrase or phrase. Who created that? Siapa yang menciptakan kata itu? The group specifically, they are a theologian from France named Port Royal. And they wrote the first history of the word based on philosophy. So Mr. Chomsky said it is the only one in the world who is the mother, who is the mother of every philosophical grammar in this world. And it is only can be read in British Museum because it is not been widely translated into outer world. Even in America itself, they could not find that source. So come back to the sentence, I believe in a certain belief. A much more interesting way I promote, how if we move ourselves to see that sentence in a different perspective. It is eager on me, myself, that why don't we use meditative way? Just like what we have been through yesterday. And I guess we can use that kind of perspective instead of having difficulty in finding the source, because that book can only be read on British Museum. Why don't we use other method by borrowing the method which has been promoted by the meditation artisan, meditation practitioners? To meditate, the word believe, I believe, I believe will lead us into a specific meaning, which is inherently will become a notion within our mind that we believe in that belief, in a certain belief. Dita, you seem so clumsy listening to the word. Are you dizzy? Pusing? Yes, you are. In a meditative way, when I come back to ask Farid, just for example, Farid, do you believe in a certain belief? And Farid answered, yes, sir, I believe in a certain belief. So what does it mean by believing? So what does it mean by a certain belief? Compelling to the method of meditative way. I believe that my belief is leading me to that certain belief in a meditative way. Just think of yourself. Where you are you believing in what you are? It could be the first step. When you are believing that you yourself are someone needs to believe into a certain belief, it will become your entry point. So, what are you believing at? That is the second question. So, instead of avoiding or omitting, do you know what does it mean, omit? Erasing, erase, omitting, erase, put away, throw away, put away, erasing, omitting. Just they are similar in meaning. Omitting, avoiding, omitting, erasing, putting away, throwing away, it has similar meaning. They are similar. They are synonymous. What does it mean? Dita, what does it mean? Omitting, erasing, putting away, throwing away. Okay, you don't get the idea. Okay, then I will ask you a question. How much vocabulary that you have learned in several months? We have been doing this for almost 10 months, I believe. Throwing away, omitting, erasing. Eliminating. They are synonymous, but in different contexts, by the way. Okay, let's forget about it. Go back to the question. In a certain belief itself is the biggest question. So when I ask somebody else, let's say Yusuf, tonight he has been delivering his method in leading this event so gorgeous, profiling himself to be a good man. He picks the diction, choice of word beautifully, and he mixes it in wonderful sentences, I believe. And I ask you, what are you believing at? What are you believing at? Do you believe in something? I don't say believe in a certain belief. I will ask you, do you believe in something? What are you believing at in this moment? Don't say you don't believe anything. I believe you believed. What are you believing at? Answer me. Okay, what are you believing at? Sometimes. Someone, you believe in someone. Okay, how do you believe? Is the second question. To make it clear. Everything is okay. Okay, that is a belief. When I put that notion out from Yusron, I will call it a belief. I will extract his idea from him. So this is philosophical condition and philosophical discussion. When Yusron, he himself say, I believe in something, that everything is gonna be okay. Just like Bob Marley say, that, okay, when we listen to that notion, when we listen about Yusron's idea, and finally we take it out from Yusron, we can say it is a belief from Yusron. It is his belief. Is that right, Difan? So the word Yusron, I believe in something, that everything's gonna be okay. When I take it out, this notion, just for example, I will write his idea on a paper and I promote to everyone. It is the Yusron's belief. The question, the third question then comes out. Does it deserve to be called a belief when somebody believed? Our master say the question of what is ontological. So to define what and whatness is ontological. In another word, we can say metaphysical question. How we acquire that, it is called epistemological. It is about how, and how. We may use another word. It is not only about how. Okay, let's make it more academic sounds. Methodological. In philosophical term, it is called epistemological. And we can define the meaning. We call that axiological. These three questions, which come first and which comes second and which comes at the end. These three things, the basic question, as Mr. Doffer explained, if I'm not mistaken, he described these topics in the first matriculation on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I took it from our Mr.'s video on that, and I found it is so interesting to deal with the word belief as a verb and belief as a noun, because in a row, secara berurutan, these two words being spoken, but in a different position. At first, he posed as the predicate, but the last he posed as a noun. We call it as an object. This changing, we cannot say it is derivative. Derivative is more common, but specifically in study of a philosophical grammar, we cannot say derivative because we have to inclusively decline into a specific aspect which is called neutron. What is that? Lebih tajam lagi, more sharper, inclusively. That is the difference between the universal grammatical study and the philosophical grammar study. It has something to do with semiotics, It has something to do with phonetics. It has something to do with semantics, by the way. This is the study of linguistics as general studies. Okay, are you keeping are you keeping up with me in these topics? I believe not.
Okay, give it floor.
We are easily to be a speaker, but we can never know for sure what are we speaking all about. We just throwing sentences, we just punching words, which is meaningless. Which is meaningless. We think we are so smart enough to stand in front of somebody else, throwing ideas, punching sentences, which is hegemonically astonishing other people or mesmerizing other listeners and viewers. We will accept many loves and likes and comments, share and subscribes, by the way, but meaningless. So, what is the importance of studying those kind of methodological, or in more deeply we can say philosophical grammatical studies? We are not learning anymore about traditional way of grammar. No, we are learning specifically, going deeper, digging deeper into a term which is harder. Just make an analogy. The more you dig, the more you will find hardness. We will never see the soil anymore. We will find rocks under the soil.
And you will find out the water, right?
Yeah, water and diamond, by the way. Yeah. Mineral is not all about water. Sometimes when the soil by centuries processed by the nature, naturally made, we will find diamond. So diamond is not a 2 or 3 days process, it's a centuries processes. Just like the shifting idea of the researcher from the traditional analyst of the linguist, traditional linguist, let's borrow that term, traditional linguist and the modern linguist are shifting the idea. They are shifting, they are moving forward, not seeing from a specific position, they are moving into the other position to see something in more better way. To find, what is that? To find an alley. You know alley? Lakukan, which cannot be seen by only standing up, and you believe that position is the only one position is the best. In fact, it is not. You will never able of seeing an alley from the way you stand where you are now. You have to move to the other side. Basically, we will see it as a general. And you must realize that the word belief itself is problematic in terms of philosophical grammatical studies. Compared to the traditional grammatical studies, belief is a certain position that our emotion poses, but lately, just like Karl Marx and other philosophers criticize the word belief. Belief is a decay, catatan, because we can never provide proofs. We can never provide rational reasoning and logical and responsible statement. So we just come into the corner. In Rahim language, buruk batu.
Okay. Okay, plus for Rahim.
Yeah. All questions will be answered in a very easy way by positioning in the corner. Mon buruk batu. But this is not what we are now. We are examiners. We cannot say we are a researcher. No, not yet. Not yet. 1000%, I assure myself that you are going to be the next researcher. By all means. in any other kind of position, which is academically. I'm sure of it. I don't use the word believed. I use the word I am sure. From now on, we have to question ourselves. Are we there enough to say, or are we there enough to use that kind of word believe? If only we already know the fact that the word belief is problematic. Belief as your predicative word, or belief as the objective word, or as a noun word. And I will make sure of you, when you are studying on this specifically, you will need time about 2 or 3 semesters, 1.5 years to only study this. But by attending here, by listening to the speech, by joining the class, you only need patience. In knowledge, there's nothing free. You have to pay. Pay attention. Not paying debt. Okay, just a meme. This is a joke question. What question? The word question, a question word is used, also is the answer. When we use the question word, the answer also is the question word. This is the meme. Itu meme-nya. Can you provide me that question? I told Divan yesterday, but you cannot speak it out. Okay, I believe you will blank. I believe. Why? I'm not sure. It means when I say I believe, I am not sure. I am not having my suitable narration. I have not adequate explanation. That's why I use the word believed. So belief is a decay. Belief is a decay. A lackness. Because we are not able providing proof or logical reasoning. That's why we use belief as our final defense statement. Which is dogmatic, by the way. Which is dogmatic, and let's say this is unquestioned. Tak bisa dipertanyakan lagi. Just like Rahim say, we are standing at the corner. There is no space anymore to move. Deliberating your way of thinking, deliberation of your capacity from the cage, which is called dogma and doctrines, is a must. Is a must, because this is the heritage given by the God Himself. Yesterday, I listened to a specific vocabulary, and I found it is so mesmerizing and so astonishing to me to listen. Mr. Sindhu stated that cosmic intelligence, how to connect to it, to this called cosmic intelligence. Yes, sir. Yeah, Schopenhauer's thought. Cosmic intelligence. How to connect to that. That we are something immanent. We are not something created. That is also a different perspective. We have already been here before. That also a perspective. We cannot say it is the best perspective, but anyhow, we have to learn it, to understand it, to dig it, and to reap it. It is our final decision then to take it or to leave it. To move to the other perspective, or just to stay where we are, assuring ourselves that we are comfortable staying in that dimension. This is the final stage. But before that, we have to learn everything. I told Burhan many times, do not avoid your chance to go wider by doing something which is called deeper. You have to choose. In your age right away, what you have to do is to go wider. As wide as you could. Swim on every island that you could swim. It is the final statement that you will choose yourself to stay in a specific land, and you dive into that island, and you will find the core of that final land that you choose at the final. But do not neglect your lifetime only going deeper in your age, because you will abandon your change to go wider, because you have to choose. When you deserve yourself to go wider, you have to erase your emotional ambition to go deeper. On the other hand, when you want to go deeper, you will lose your change to go wider at your age. So what I intend to say that do your job one by one, not at the same time. Go back to the word belief as a predicative word and belief as a noun. Let's discuss it later in the next meeting. Let's arrange about that. If you want to attend the specific explanation about that, probably I will give it, or I will deliver it at the end of this month, at 29 September, if I'm not mistaken, because I have the class of delivering that speech material to the matriculation class, philosophy of language. I will explain a little bit about that. And thank you for the moment given. And firstly, I would like 1,000 thanks to Mr. Dafir that have been appointing me as the man in charge to be with you. The man in charge here, I am the one who is responsible for your progress and for your declining result. Are you progressed or are you declined? I'm the one who must be blamed. So if you want to be with me, help me. Okay, I just want to remind you, every Saturday night I send you a video, and that must be reacted. And none of you this week react to a video, to that video I have sent. This is the only way I could get in touch with you online, because my inability to be with you all the times. I'm not your button. Do you know what it does it mean? I'm not your button. Aku bukan kemancinganmu ini. So that is the only media that I could be in touch with you. So be cooperative. I like the expression of Bray expressed last night when he asked a question, and when Mr. Sindhu gave a feedback to Bray. Is that kind of a reflection? Yes. Yes. You want to be honored? Honor somebody. You want to be respected? Respect somebody. You don't want to be neglected? Stay close with that person. You want to be listened? Listened to the orders. You want something mess? Mess it up your life. It is your problem, not the others. It is your chance. You want to spread away your life? That's up to us. To be creative or to be dumped. To be progressive or to be declining. That's choices. We are not talking about certainty, because we could never know what does it mean, certainty itself. But we are talking about the probability or the possibilities here. Do as best as we could to reach a certain level of possibility and probability. We are not reaching, or we are not heading to a dimension called certainty, because we can never know for sure for that. We have no idea what is certainty itself. Because we are, as the student of philosophy, never think of yourself that you are deserving something. No. The more we read, the more we know nothing. The more we try, the more we will find that it is useless. But keep going, keep going, keep going, and keep going. I know you've been tired, for all of the tasks that given to you, tired by your own problematic relationship, women's, financial, laziness, stubbornness, talk activeness, silence, insocials, or so forth. Hibernation. You hibernate every time. You will rest in peace for the rest of your life, but it is not your time yet. So, before accompanying or before facing that, no need to wait for that. Just do whatever you can do and do the best as you could. Because you will regret everything that possibly you think it is the best. You will regret it somehow. So what is regret? This is the other discussion. We keep coming to discuss about what is the difference between the belief as the predicative word and the belief as the noun or the object's words. Because just like I give the example when Yusron say, yes sir, I believe in something, that everything is gonna be okay. He said that as his predicative sentences. But how about when I take it out, his idea, and I wrote his idea on a paper and I promote to everyone. So I take it out, his belief. So I can say it is his belief, not as his predicative sentences, but as a notion, as a noun. Belief and believed. A belief and belief. Infit bukan invite. Invite. But no, not every E pronounced by I, no. Rahim will say, Achoil alai galai, no. Chahil ali gili, itu dibaca Inggris, alai galai. No, it is not. Rahim. When say Rahim. Rahim. Okay. Thank you for the time given again and again. Many thanks, gratitude to our God, and especially to our father, to our master, Mr. Dawir Zuhri, who has appointed me as the man in charge, and who has our motivator by himself. Motivator by himself. I mean, he promoted not only by his speech, but also by what he has been doing. He as the living role model. So we can never beat him in a specific way up to now, but it is your possibility in 10 years later. We can never know for sure, but prepare yourself now. Change yourself now. And now, not tomorrow. Thank you so much for the listening. At the end, I will say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir. Before we close this agenda, this Muhadharah, maybe there is comments or critic. Okay.
I have to catch every word that he asked me for just now.
Yes, thank you, sir. Perhaps that's it. We beg less and more forgiveness. And I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.